Oh, good morning, Elisabetta. Good morning. Thank you very much. Aspettiamo qualche secondo. Eccoci qua. 7 o'clock. Good morning. 7 o'clock. The 30th of July 2024. 7 o'clock. And good morning. Just a few seconds, please. Vediamo un po' se riusciamo a sistemare bene qui. Yes. Sorry. Ok. Oggi registriamo un episodio del podcast che potete trovare su Spotify, in tutte le piattaforme di podcast che volete. Verrà caricato nei prossimi giorni insieme a tutti gli altri podcast episodes. Oggi parliamo di Change Yourself Learning English. Very interesting topic. Mettiamo l'orologino qua a destra. Change Yourself Learning English. Facciamo un quarto d'ora di speech. Intanto pensate anche voi. Change Yourself Learning English, quindi cambiare te stesso imparando l'inglese. Già puoi entrare prima dell'episodio in questo mindset. Ok, aspettiamo un altro minuto che si collega qualcun altro. Se c'è qualcuno che si sta collegando, abbiamo dato il link adesso, proprio qualche minuto, un paio di minuti e partiamo. Intanto provate a fare questa data, 30th of July 2024, it's 7 o'clock and it's a beautiful day today. Yes, it's sunny here and that's it. Aspettiamo qualche secondo, abbiamo fatto. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Welcome to this episode of Inglese.vero podcast. Today, I'm Stefano. This is Stefano here, and today I'm going to talk about changing yourself while learning English. Or I'm going to talk about how you change yourself by learning English. Good morning, Peter. Good morning. So in this episode, we're going to talk about the benefits of learning English as a way to change yourself, to improve yourself, and to learn about yourself. So, change yourself learning English. Have you ever thought about that learning a language will change yourself, actually can change yourself and will change yourself if you study it, if you take it as an important step in your life and not just as a skill to learn. Okay, so the first two things that are important in this topic are these. It's like, what is the motivation of you learning English? If the motivation of you learning English is just to learn another skill, it's like, I want to learn the computer, I want to learn how to use the smartphone, just to chat, just for the regular things. Well, this is not going to change anything in your life except maybe some abilities that you will acquire during the learning, which is good still, but it's not going to change yourself. It's not going to give you a different life. It's not going to open doors. Number two, so that was number one. Number two, if you learn in English because you want to open your mind, you want to learn something new that you know that it will change yourself, that you know that it's like, oh my God, I want to learn this language because I know that by learning this language, I will be able to do so many things. I will be able to do so much more. A lot of doors will open. The world will open literally in front of me. Okay, if that's the case number two, learning English can change yourself and will change yourself. Can, because there is a possibility. Will, because if you don't stop, if you never give up, if you continue, and if eventually you become proficient, it will change your life. And not only for the possibilities, not only for the, for example, I remember when I started to learn English, my motivation wasn't, oh, I want to learn English because I will find a job. That's a good motivation. That's not a good motivation. That's an okay motivation. It's a motivation that is okay. I learn English, I will find a better job. Oof, I don't know. That's a small motivation for me. But my motivation was big, I want to learn English because I want to be able to communicate to people from all over the world. That was my first intention, my first goal, actually was the only goal. It's like I want to communicate. So communication with the rest of the world. I want to speak and to learn and to meet and to know, to get to know Chinese people, Tibetan people, South American people, North American people, English people, Spanish people, German people, Polish, Russians, people from all over the world. So, to do that, there are two ways. Way number one, you learn Chinese, you learn Russian, you learn Spanish, you learn Arabic, and then you will speak to these people, maybe in 300 years. Possibility number two, you learn English, and with the English, you've got the keys to see the world, to speak to the world. And oh my God, guys, that's why I call it the other side, you know? See you on the other side. That's why I say that. Because if your motivation to learn in English is to change yourself, to change your life into the better, to improve your life, not just a little bit, not just for a better job, not just for a little more confidence. No, it's just to change your life big time. Guys, it's like becoming new. It's like starting a new life. It's like a reincarnate into a new world without dying, okay? So it's like keeping two lives. It's like I've got Stefano Roganti Italiano, which is still alive at a certain degree. And then there is Stefano, which is newly born. And, Stefano Roganti was born in 1978, 40-something years ago. Stefano was born in 2007, so he's pretty young. I'm, what am I? 2007, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. I'm 17 years old. In my English life, I'm 17. So that's why I'm so enthusiastic. That's why I'm so immersed into learning a few new things, because I feel like I'm 17. And would you like to feel like you are 17 again in your mind, in your brain, without having to die and reincarnate again and start it all over? From pooping and crying, wah, wah, from the baby to going to primary school again, going to secondary school again. Oh my God. So if you want to start a new life, like a completely new life from scratch, from zero, like starting to learn a language is the first thing you do in a new life. You learn a new language without dying. Learning English, it's a good way. I would say it's a spiritual way to reincarnate in this life without having to die. So don't die, please, and learn English. Yes. So if you learn English, you will do this. So what are the benefits of learning English into changing yourself? I will give you my experience. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I'm not anything of that, but I'm a man of experience, and I have a lot of experience. And in my experience, with myself first, but also my experience with my students. I've had students from 3 years old to 70, what was it, 72, 74 years old. So I've got a pretty wide range to see some of the constants in this learning English. And I've seen babies, I've seen children of 3 years old, or adults of 70 years old, not changing their life, even if they learn English very well. So that's a possibility. I told you, possibility number one, you learn English just to learn English. There's no big motivation, it's just another skill. Well, you learn English, but you remain the same old person, whether you are 3 years old, or 70 years old, or 50 years old, or 40 years old. But yet again, I've seen people, children of 3 or 4 years old to 20 years old, people 20 years old, to people of 40, 50 years old, 60 years old, learning English, maybe learning a little English, changing their lives. Oh my God, so good satisfaction. It's so good. Like the people I work one-to-one with are only those people. So I think life is perfect this way. Like people will self-select. So when people ask me to private lessons or one-to-one lessons, I think the self-select is like only those people want to really change themselves, pick the individual lessons, because they know that one-to-one lessons with me, if you want to change yourself while learning English, it's the fast way. It's the fast way. If you don't want to change yourself, if you just want to learn English, you don't need one-to-one lessons, and you don't need to do a course with me anyway, even group lessons, because even group lessons are life-changing. You see that, but I'm just if you want to go faster. Anyway, let's get back to the topic. So what was I talking about? Changing myself. Yes, I've seen people changing themselves. Yes, so like people learning a little English after 3 or 4, 5 months because they started from scratch. Imagine a 3-year-old boy or girl. They're not gonna learn a lot of English if they study English with me 1 year. They play in English, of course, but they change themselves. You see their minds change because they see another language and they see new possibilities. And from the 3-year-old perspective, is like, oh, there is another language. They didn't even know that there was a language in their lives. So they didn't think about Italian as a language. They just speak. They didn't think about the language. Now they realize there is a language and another language. Is mind-blowing. It's like children of 3 years old, becoming aware of the language is like it's changing lives, because they start having 2 brains. One is Italian brain with all Italian things, and one is English way, English things, English language. It's beautiful. The same happens when you are 30 years old. You're 30 years old or 35 years old, because you change yourself by creating a new alter ego, I call it, which happened to me. I learned English and I had this new mind, this new Stefano, which had different thoughts, different way of thinking, and it was beautiful. So if you want to change yourself learning English, or if you want to learn English because you want a big change in your life, I think you should realize that. You should you don't have to do anything. You just have to realize, why am I learning English? Am I learning English just to find a little extra job, or a job which is a little bit better? Or am I learning English because I really want to change my life? I want to go to the other side. If you want to go to the other side, you have to realize it. You have to say it. You have to see it. And then, of course, you will take the right actions. Because a lot of people think, oh, I'm lazy, I'm not constant, I should study more. Yeah, of course, everybody's lazy somehow. Not everybody, but a lot of people are lazy. But we are lazy only when we don't have a motivation. My motivation was communicate to the world, and this was for me life-changing. It was a matter of death, life or death. It's like, I can't continue this life without being able to speak to other people. I mean, I don't want to speak to Italians anymore. It's like, yes, it's okay, but I want to speak to, I told you, Chinese people, German people, Polish people, Russian people, and so on. That's why after that, I also picked up Spanish language, because it's another big language to learn, but just for fun, okay? It's not very useful in the real world, because everybody who speaks Spanish, usually, not always, usually, especially in the international world, they speak English too. Not if you go to South America maybe, but usually. So my motivation was changing my life, opening doors, having possibilities, and for this I started to learn English, and my motivation was pretty high. And imagine, guess what? I found the ways. I was obsessed with my learning because it was the only important thing. It was a love story. So why are you learning English? Are you learning English just to find a little better job? Are you learning English just to go on holiday and be able to speak? To say, can I have a sandwich, please? Or are you learning English because you want to find a better job, of course, but because you want to change your life? Or because you want to go on holiday and speak, yes, but because you want to change your life, you want to see yourself speaking in another language, like you were a child again, like you are a baby, you don't know how to speak, and then you start saying, can I have a sandwich, please? And you feel so much satisfaction into just these words, and it's like, wow, this is what I want. I want an experience of enthusiasm. I want an experience of becoming a child again, and being aware of being a child, and enjoying life, and enjoying the learning. So not just to get a job, not just to go on holiday, but to enjoy this process, enjoy every single day of learning like children do. So what children? Do you want to become a children? You want to become a child again? Sorry. Do you want to become a child again? You want to get back to be a child with an adult mind in yourself? If that's so, learning English will definitely change your life for the better, because a child is not aware. You can go back to be a child by learning English and being aware of it, and that will make all the difference in the world. This is from my experience, guys, but I think if you listen carefully, if you ask yourself the question, why am I learning English? Just for a little job, just for a little experience, or for a big job, a big experience, a big emotions and enthusiasm, you can relate to what I'm talking about today. So you can listen to this episode 3-4 times if you want to understand it all, if you want to practice your listening. Please ask yourself this question, answer to this question. If you want, you can answer to the comments below. And thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye.